Yeah, well, I really like watching ships take off and land. That's really a passion, and I like presenting that on screen and in a Star Wars film. I think it really captures the human spirit and the imagination that we all have. Yeah, ships taking off and docking.
Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. Or as I like to call it, Star Wars Ships Docking. Directed by George Lucas, who has created this big franchise that all of us love and adore and get along with. And this film stars Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Natalie Portman, Christopher Lee, Samuel L. Jackson, Ian McDiarmid, and Frank Oz. It has been 3 years since the Clone Wars have began, and Jedi Knights Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker are major war heroes. However, Anakin has been showing tendencies of confusion and desire to save the one that he loves, Padme Amidala, who he has a dream about dying, and of course, well, if it's gonna happen in the dream, well, it's gonna happen in real life. Of course! Wish my dreams would come true. Be a big mess, though. And in his confusion, Chancellor Palpatine twists his mind, and it's revealed that he is Darth Sidious, the Darth Sith Lord that we all been looking for. And his mind is twisted so much that he becomes Darth Vader, and seeks out to destroy all of the Jedis, because they're getting revenge on something. I'm sure it's explained in a bunch of Star Wars legacy novels that I will never read, because I shouldn't have to. But 2005, this was the end of the prequel trilogy that really is pretty much despised by majority of people. I feel the younger generation, there are a lot of prequel fans out there. And when it comes to episode 3, I'm actually in that bandwagon. I really like this film, because since episode 1, we have been waiting to see Anakin Skywalker turn into Darth Vader. I thought we were going to get it in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and we just got like a little tease of it. Kinda. But no, Lucas was gonna wait until episode 3 to really put it into high gear. Or as Harrison Ford would say, light speed. It's a terrible Harrison Ford. But everything that we wanted from the prequel films happens here. We hear about the Clone Wars. We hear about this big epic fight between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. We've heard stories about Vader hunting down the Jedi and killing all of them. And instead of giving any of that in the first 2 films, it's all stockpiled here. And my brain was like, okay, finally. So guys, I love Star Wars. I am a Star Wars fan. I grew up with Star Wars. Star Wars was a big outlet for me, as it was for a lot of people. It was a great source of inspiration to broaden our minds and to expand our imaginations. And watching this film, I think it absolutely accomplishes that. I never knew how inventive we could be with ships taking off and docking and landing. Seriously, this entire film is almost all ships taking off, ships flying, ships landing. And I never noticed it before until this viewing for this channel. Because every time that I pop this in, I am glued to the screen for the first battle, and then I'm just aching for that Anakin Obi-Wan lightsaber duel. And when we get there, I am all in. But I guess I was just blind to just how many ships take off and land in this film. And I know my reaction that I have. I felt it happen. I'm just sitting there, just watching it, going like, yeah, this is the best one. A lot of ships taking off. I didn't go back and count it, but there are a ton of ships just taking off and docking, and it just goes to show you, at least how I interpret it as an audience member, that that's where George Lucas's mindset was for these prequels. It was all about the visual effects and the technology that we had to do the space adventure. Instead of practicality, we have a bunch of blue and green screens. Let's use those. Now, a lot of it looks really cool, but the script motivations, they do suffer because of that attention. Like when it comes to the script, I don't think George Lucas knows how to write a scene, or at least end a scene. I picture him just writing the script, and then at a certain point in the scene, he's like, I don't know how to end this, I don't know where to go, I'm just gonna do a fun little camera sweep, and then we'll move on to the next scene. There are several times where characters are talking about something very important to the plot and very important to the story, and then all of a sudden, the screen sweeps, and we're in the next scene, and they're talking about how that ended. For example, Obi-Wan is asking Anakin to spy on the Chancellor for the Jedi, and you can tell that Anakin is a offended by this. He doesn't want to do it, but he's conflicted because, well, he's on the Jedi Council. He has a duty to serve them, but he doesn't want to betray the Chancellor. He's been almost like a father to him. And there's some real good, meaty stuff there. The camera sweeps, we're in the next scene, and Ewan McGregor says, well, he didn't take well to his new assignment. What? How? What happened? Don't tell us about it. Show us, damn it! And that's the big criticism that a lot of people have with the prequels. The story, the script, the characters are very surface level. There's not a lot of depth to them. Even with Anakin, and he feels surface level, and he has the biggest moment, the biggest climactic moment that all Star Wars fans have been waiting 30 years to see. The moment where he decides to join the dark side and to kill the Jedi. And it's this.
What have I done?
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 What have I done? Ah! You turned her against me!
Basically, he's a whiny bitch. But once we get that scene, I really like where this film goes storyline-wise. Order 66, Senator Organa, Yoda, and Obi-Wan having to come back and change the signal to warn all the other Jedis not to come to Coruscant. I do enjoy that. Leading up to it after the first climactic battle scene is a really big bore. And Hayden Christensen, you know, I feel for that guy. He has the role of a lifetime, and I think he is a good actor. I've seen him do good things. I just think the material that he had to work with here and the direction, or probably lack thereof, I can't blame him for his performance.
I will fix it in post.
I will tell you though, my favorite character has always been Obi-Wan, and I think Ewan McGregor, I think he nailed it through the entire prequels. If there is one shining beacon of light throughout the entire trilogy, it's Ewan McGregor. And I remember thinking when he came out on screen, I'm like, oh, thank God he cut his mullet. And he grew out his facial hair. I'm a big stickler for good facial hair. And the stuff that he had in the last movie, Attack of the Clones, it's see-through, new depth to it, and then he had that stupid mullet. He looks good here, and I think he's the actor that really grounds this entire thing. Samuel L. Jackson, he is there for the paycheck, and he is there just to look badass. Christopher Lee is in this thing for like 2 minutes, and Natalie Portman is just there. I think George Lucas just kind of gave up on her character. I think he gave up on a lot of characters that started out in episode 1, because Jar Jar says like one thing in this entire movie. Thank God. However, I would rather have an entire film dedicated to Jar Jar Binks than to see Rose from episode 8 again. Different talk for a different movie review. But Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, I do like their chemistry. You can tell that there is this type of father-son, master-apprentice respect, but there's also a lot of hatred there. At least resentment towards each other. Obi-Wan resenting Anakin because, well, he didn't want to train him in the first place. He's just doing this to appease his master because he made a promise. And Anakin has resentment to Obi-Wan Kenobi because he's not the best teacher. And he pushes him, he holds him back, or at least he feels that he holds him back. I've really felt the tension between these two, which is why I was just so pumped for that big, epic lightsaber battle. And kudos to those guys, because they do almost the entire thing. Unlike Ian McDiarmid and Samuel L. Jackson for their lightsaber duel. Beautiful choreography between the two. It was almost like a dance, and it actually led to an amazing Xbox Star Wars game. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith on Xbox, that was badass. Some of the best lightsaber modules that I've ever seen. Granted, all you were doing was hitting one button again and again and again to block and then to attack, but it still looked amazing. And the famous ending to the lightsaber duel, I have the high ground, it's one of the best memes on the internet. I also saw a post that mentioned that nowadays with a PG-13 you are allowed one F word. So where would you put that in Revenge of the Sith if you had the choice? And a lot of people said, I have the fucking high ground! So stupid. And that of course leads to the special guest star appearance of James Earl Jones. No! Yeah, I bet you thought you'd never see Darth Vader drop to his knees, look to the sky, and do the stereotypical yelling at the omnipotent force that is out there. It's making a little bitch. But that being said, it is very easy to crap all over this film. It's very easy to crap all over the prequels, in my opinion. Someone who grew up on the original Star Wars trilogy and loves and reveres those films to death. But I do believe that there is a lot of good things that happen in here. And there's a lot of untapped potential with this story. And even though it was technologically advanced, there is still some untapped potential within George Lucas as a director. There's one scene that I think is absolutely beautiful where Padme is in her apartment and Anakin Skywalker's in the Jedi Temple. The sun is coming down, there's a sunset, it's gorgeous to look at, and you can just see that they are looking at each other thousands of miles away, but still having that unspoken conversation with each other. He is confused, he is crying, he is worried, he is fearful, he loves her and is fearful for her. And she is there supporting him, telling him that he loves her, even though they're not saying anything. I love this scene. Where is that director?
Oh, I'm right here. You can't see me? Okay, we'll just fix it in post.
But this is by far the best Star Wars prequel, and I would actually rank it above a couple other Star Wars films that a lot of other people, at least the majority of other people, really enjoy.
Rogue One. Last Jedi.
That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm going to give Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith 3.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I am above average.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my video where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and my next one is a fan recommendation from one of my subscribers, Dan Hensley. You recommended American Beauty. Thank you, Dan, for picking a film with an actor that has absolutely no controversy behind it all. American Beauty, I haven't seen this in over 10 years. Best Picture in 1999, I want to say? Yeah, because Gladiator was the next year, and the year before... was that Shakespeare? I think that was Shakespeare in Love. But seeing it before, I was in my younger years, and I don't feel like connected with any of these characters. But getting a little older, I feel that I'm going to be connecting with Kevin Spacey's character a lot here. Character in the film, not his character. You know what I mean. So thank you, Dan Hensley, for the recommendation. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, please leave your comment below, or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter. Leave your recommendation there, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a shout out here on the channel. And guys, don't forget my goal this year is to hit 1,000 subscribers, and my gift to you, if we reach that goal, is I'm going to watch, review, and record my reactions watching Arachnophobia. Spiders. Me. Nope. I have a major fear of that film, but I am willing to go the extra mile to watch it and record my reactions and share it with everyone if we meet 1,000 subscribers. Tell your friends, family, anyone who loves movies that you know, tell them about Caleb Watches Movies and to hit that subscribe button. So everyone, have you seen Star Wars Episode 3? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this channel, please comment below, let me know what you thought. And where does it rank in your hierarchy of Star Wars films? Please let me know. So everyone, I will see you next time with my review of American Beauty. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.